Okay, so in this video I'm going to be demonstrating the use of this Bolos basic tax return machine. Never mind the name, it's just a personal joke from work, which is where I actually created it, because I was set on to make some personal tax documents and different files around that, and the work proved to be very repetitive, so I decided to make a little program that would automate pretty much all of the tasks that I had to do, so I'd have more time to read and do all this stuff. Anyway, let's get into it. So normally I'm just going to crack open the two documents that you would have to create manually. Obviously this template would already exist. You'd already have things like client, year end, UTR, national insurance number, your initials, and the date that you were doing it on, and then you'd have these subheadings for the different sources of income, and then formulas in there, etc, etc. Now however, you then have to manually enter all of these details yourself from P60s and P45 documents, which are basically documents that tell you an individual's income from a company for that tax year. And similar with the bank interest, dividends, these you'd get from the clients, and then these you'd get from the accounts if your company or you yourself do the client's accounts also. And then from there they'd also give you rental documents, basically documents you ask for in the information request letter in order to complete that tax return, and then you'd end up with a total. Cool, that's all good. You do that manually. It doesn't really take that long once you get used to it. But once things start getting a little bit more complicated with things like bank interest and legal pension income, land and property, especially rental income, then that can slow things down. The main reason I wanted to automate this was because although you have to do this, it's not too big a deal, because all of this information will have to be entered into the program anyway for it to appear here. But the thing was, you'd have to do this and then pretty much do the exact same thing over on the approval letter, which is what you actually send off to the client to show them what they've earned. And as you can see, the program is just gonna fly through all of this and automate it. I'm currently recording the screen right now, so the processing power has kind of been reduced, so that's why it's a bit lagging, but you can see it's already finished. And then from here, all you have to do is just chop off the bits that you do not require, and it's pretty much all done from there. And you can leave the signatures and everything at the bottom to be signed and then sent. But that's essentially the two main documents that you make. Obviously then you can have the declaration statement, which you send off to the client in order to have them sign, approve of having received this document and all of that stuff. So the essential reason why this program exists is to create this tax return schedule and the approval letter very quickly. So if we just head into the client interface, you can see over here that you can start by entering a client reference, then their forenames, surnames, unique taxpayer reference, national insurance number, addresses, and then from there you can begin to fill in the data for their tax return, companies, and the previous year, which appears over here. And then from there, obviously directorships as well, income tax, savings and investments. There you go, from dividends, previous year's dividends, bank interest, etc. Land and property. Really basic thing, but it's helped me a lot. Cuts down the time it takes me to do this by about a fifth of the time it would take me to do it manually normally, especially though I was kind of slow when I first started. But very simple, very straightforward, and I just give this out to my colleagues and they really find it helpful to use as well. So that's essentially it. You punch in your data into there and it creates these two files for you. Now in terms of the consulting and the reason you're on this website, the reason you're even watching this video, it's taken me 5.5 minutes to get to this point, but essentially this obviously means I can create something similar for you and whatever your needs are. Basically automating tasks in Excel or Word anything that's a bit too repetitive, using pretty much the same style of data every time, just different depending on your client or the situation or the week or the day or the month or whatever. Most of it, I guess, can be automated through Excel, but it's nice to have a little program that can do it for you in Excel, Word, Sage, Payroll. You can incorporate that. Microsoft Outlook, you can just incorporate a lot of things. So if you send me an email through the contact page, then I'll be happy to get in touch, and then we can talk about what I can do for you in terms of what you have seen here today. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for checking it out. Obviously, if it piques your interest, do not hesitate to send me a message. I'll trawl through all the spam in my emails and dig it out, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.